Greetings chaps, Stuart Charles here, HomeStudioBasics.com, helping you make sound decisions leading to a beautiful audio experience that will make you fall in love with music all over again. So, before we get started, all links to these products as well as any articles related will be down below in the description box. Check out my gear recommendations as well for most of my top picks all in one place. If you do purchase through one of my Drop or Amazon links, I will get a small kickback depending on where you live. Purchasing through my links is a great way to thank me for helping you make a sound decision. There are many other different ways that you can help support the blog and channel down below as well, and your continued support means the world to me, so thank you. Now let's compare the big boy Ananda to the Sundara, shall we? We'll start with build, which is a bit complicated, like that relationship that you may or may not be trying to get out of. Both of these headphones represent the second generation structure that Hi-Fi-Man began implementing around 2018. If you'll recall, the first gen Edition X was built like the original 400S and 400i. You could rotate the cups around completely, but the mostly plastic profile left a bit of a sour taste in some people's mouths, especially considering the steeper price tag of the Edition X specifically. That headphone sounded phenomenal, but didn't exactly put your mind at ease with regard to build because it felt a bit too light for its price point. Fortunately, Hi-Fi-Man revamped both the Ananda and Sundara's build, and this time around the price tag is more justified than it was previously. Both headphones look radically different, and depending on personal taste, you may or may not enjoy the somewhat alien looking, it feels like I'm wearing a football helmet Ananda. While the Ananda's cups mimic the shape of your ear perhaps better than any headphone I've tried, the Sundaras are rounder and do touch your ears, but it's not a deal breaker by any means. The Ananda's window-looking grills are in stark contrast to the lattice configuration apparent on the Sundara, but the actual cups on the other side are both a velour, protein leather, memory foam combo and are very soft to the touch. Both headphones lack the movement seen in previous iterations, but both are heavier than their predecessors and feel more robust and solid, even despite being very lightweight for their planar magnetic monikers. Do note that you can fold the cups up and down on each, but rotation front to back is no longer available. Each headphone terminates in a 3.5mm jack and connects into both cups via 1/8 inch TRS, but the Sundara's jack is L-shaped while the Ananda's is straight. Do note that the Ananda's cable is clear versus the black of the Sundara as well, a minor difference. Both sport the now rounded off frame connecting the two ear cups with a thin, flimsy headband pad underneath. Fortunately, the headphones are above average in comfort, so you won't really be missing anything. Speaking of comfort, let's talk about it! By and large, neither of these headphones are intrusive, but you will feel a bit like Bobby Boucher when you're wearing an Ananda, as it tends to want to give you an awkward looking hug a lot of the time and sort of makes you feel like a reject.
Hey Casey, I think he want to make out with you.
By contrast, the Sundara is a little bit more normal looking, and if you do happen to wear it outside of your home, there's less of a chance you'll get punched in the face. Clamp force on the Sundara is a bit tighter than that of the Ananda, which does tend to slide around a bit more than I would like, similar to the newer Deva. Even so, comfort on the Ananda is exemplary, as it doesn't really dig much at all, boasting a very non-intrusive clamp that conforms to your head rather nicely. If you have Dumbo-sized ears like I do, you're in luck! Hi-Fi-Man crafted a headphone that even Ross Perot would be proud of.
I've said it's like a crazy ant in the basement. Everybody knows she's there, but nobody talks about her.
The Sundara is also very comfortable, but you will notice it after a couple of hours. The cups are smaller, clamp is tighter, but generally speaking you'll find that you can achieve a much more stable fit over extended listening sessions. Speaking of listening sessions, let's get into the sound of these bad boys. How do they compare? Like the K612 versus K702 dichotomy, this is another super easy comparison because both the Ananda and Sundara sound vastly different from one another, even despite graphs indicating that they're pretty similar. This is also one reason why you can't rely on graphs, even though they're super helpful in many ways. In a nutshell, listening to an Ananda is like skiing down a mountain in January while chewing winter fresh gum. It's cool, crisp, sparkly, with flavor crystals bursting at the seams like that level in Donkey Kong Country Slip Slide Ride. The sound is incredibly smooth, natural, and effortless, with a rolling bass rumble that will be the reason you smile like Lloyd Banks. You feel me, dog? The Ananda will be literally singing you the song before you go to sleep at night while you cuddle with it. Real talk! The Ananda has more pronounced peaks and dips, but they're done in an almost perfect way across the board. Bass, mid-range, and treble all have just the right amount of zest so as not to get out of line.
I caught you a delicious bass.
Though you will notice an ever so slight, teeny tiny, itsy bitsy amount of brightness at 10K or thereabouts. It's not enough of a peak to EQ, but should be noted. This is an otherwise perfect sounding headphone and the closest you'll get to a Utopia without whoring yourself on the street corners for some extra cash money.
Man, you got any spare change?
Sorry, bro, I'm all out, man.
Man, I got these cheeseburgers, man.
Mid-range is lively and exciting without shouting. Imaging and instrument separation are pristine like Claire,
Not that pristine.
and the sound actually represents what it means to jump in price from mid-fi to hi-fi and does so extraordinarily well. This is a perfect representation of the $1,000 price range, but you can get it even cheaper nowadays, so what are you waiting for? Hurry up and buy! Similarly, the Sundara achieves near perfection too, but has somewhat of a different but very minor issue. The mid-range after 1K does roll off fairly gradually, but still can come off a little bit too laid back at times, like it forgot to do its homework but really doesn't give a crap.
Is this your homework, Larry?
Look,
Still, it works somehow. The Sundara opts for a smoother, more sanded down presentation, much like an HD650, but still sounds incredibly natural and effortless, albeit in a different way from the Ananda's more lively approach. You can see this contrast quite clearly upon further examination of the measurements. All in all, I think the Ananda is a true step up from something in the mid-fi category because it does actually sound like an upgrade in almost every sense of the word. Bass is clear and more sure of itself, mid-range is on point like your mom's meatloaf,
You hungry?
and the treble is crisp and sparkly without feeling like a cheese grater is slicing your ears to bits. Both work for pretty much all genres across the board, from rock to hip-hop, indie to pop, metal, jazz, classical, gaming, and film as well. Both have above average soundstage, but it never quite reaches the pinnacle of what something like an AKG K702 can provide in terms of a true out-of-your-head experience. Still, the Ananda pretty much achieves that, all things considered. Width and spacing is a little bit better on the Sundara, as you'll be able to pinpoint sounds in all directions a little easier. The Ananda would make a fantastic gaming headphone as well. While the Sundara isn't very efficient and does need some sort of amplification to reach acceptable volume levels given its paltry 94 decibels of sensitivity, it doesn't resist power much at 37 ohms, so is therefore not that hard to drive in practice. The Ananda by contrast is very efficient and can theoretically be driven off of a smartphone or mobile device due to its 25 ohm impedance and 101 decibels per milliwatt sensitivity, but should be paired with some sort of amp DAC for best results. Don't overthink it though! Speaking of setups, I have a couple of fantastic ones to get you started. Just click the gear recommendations link below and browse my store. Well, that's about it for today, guys. Leave me some love down in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. If you like what I do here and you want to support the channel in a more personal way, hit that Patreon link down below. And last but not least, don't forget to ask me about my grandchildren. Don't feed the troll. And most importantly, don't ever give up.
Yeah. All the fake rappers out there. Smokey Robinson, one time. Old school, man. Esoteric Eric.
Who's that?
Check it. Who is it? It's Stu Black, here I am with the review once again. By this point you gotta know I'm deadly with the pen. You wanna battle me? Shit, I'll gladly take the win. You whip a caddy, but it's wrecked, I'm rolling fatties and I'm spent. Call me Lassie, I'm legit, I save the day, but I'm no fever pitch. I'm kinda sick, I spit retarded, I'm autistic and it fits. I'm like a kid on Christmas morning, it's a cinch. You overthinking it again, I'm dropping wisdom in a pinch. I know you listening to this cause I be ripping it to bits. I get the Gavin, I'm on my I'm popping red pills and I'm rich. I'll make you quiver with my lips, I'll make you shiver with my stanzas. It's a hit like Sinatra in the mob. I come equipped a little bit like Tech 9. I keep it lit, a fire sign. I'm dangerous, out of control. I majored and I play to win. Do me a favor and just quit.